From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News on this Monday. I'm Andrea Lutz. New at noon, Senate Democrats are making plans to pass President Biden's sweeping $1.9 trillion COVID relief package with or without Republican support. However, a group of 10 GOP senators is proposing a much smaller measure. President Biden has agreed to negotiations after lawmakers urged more bipartisanship. The Republican counter proposal would be $160 billion and include fewer Americans eligible for a full stimulus check. President Joe Biden is planning to reveal details on a commission that would look at reforming the Supreme Court. There are currently 9 U.S. Supreme Court justices controlled by conservatives, 6-3. In the past, Biden has vowed to appoint both Democrats and Republicans to any proposed commission. And the president says he doesn't want to pack the courts, but instead wants to look at how to reform the court system. Supreme Court seats haven't changed since 1869. A group of oil and gas companies is challenging one of President Biden's executive orders to stop the gain of future land leases. The Western Energy Alliance claims that suspension of oil gas leasing is inconsistent with the Interior Secretary's lawful obligations. They say the Mineral Leasing Act of 1920 requires the Bureau of Land Management to hold lease sales.
The Mineral Leasing Act is very clear that each state where there's interest, the Bureau of Land Management shall hold quarterly lease sales. So it's just not something that the president can do. This is not supposed to affect current leases, but a company may have a project, and as they do more exploratory work, they determine that we need to acquire some acreage nearby. If some of that acreage is federal, then their project would be stymied. They wouldn't be able to go forward with that project.
In his order, Biden states the Secretary of Interior shall pause new leases pending a review and reconsideration. All right, and the winner of the Super Bowl going to be, well, according to Wolverine, Sid at Zoo Montana, he is making that Super Bowl prediction, saying it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who are going to go on to win the big game this Sunday. Sid came out to predict that winner with a lot of enthusiasm this morning, and it was his first Super Bowl prediction because he was called up after retiring. Ozzie the Grizzly Bear used to do it. Sid made that prediction by choosing between 2 pâtés, both made of a delicious meat mixture. There he is taking off, saying that Tampa Bay is going to win. Well, they do play the Kansas City Chiefs on Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to air right here on CBS. Now turning to some weather right now as we're checking in on what's happening outside with Miller Robson. And there you go, the winner of the Super Bowl now.
And I'm not going to argue with a Wolverine. I'll tell you that right now. I will say this, Hugh Jackman looks a lot furrier than I thought he did. Okay, let's take a look at temperatures out there. We got 20s. We got 30s, we got 40s, we've even got 50s another day. We're staying milder than normal. Look at Cut Bank at 51, Havre at 51. We've got 50 in Great Falls. And then, of course, as we make our way down the map, we've got 40s and 30s. We've got at least one more day where those temperatures stay above average before much cooler air comes in and gives us a chance at snow. For the most part, the wind's calm out there, maybe breezy conditions at times, but along the foothills, we're seeing gusts over 30 miles an hour. Down around Livingston, your area, and the Nye area could see gusts up to 50 by tomorrow before it starts to taper off. But the big story is the big cool down on the way, and we'll tell you about it with the main forecasts coming up. Andrea.
All right, thanks, Miller. Soon it will be a federal requirement to wear a mask on a plane and on public transportation. The mask order issued by the CDC is set to take effect tonight. Those rules apply to passengers on planes, trains, subways, buses, taxis, and ride shares. And it also covers waiting areas like train platforms and subway stations. TSA is going to be helping to enforce those new rules. Bars, taverns, and casinos in Butte are asking that licensing fees be waived because of the impact of the pandemic and how it's had that on businesses. MTN's Caitlin Aguiles finds out more about the issue.
The Silver Bow Tavern Association asked county commissioners to lower or waive the fees for all beverage, beer and wine, retail food, and catering special events licenses to help ease the struggles of small business owners during the pandemic.
We are trying to direly keep the money in, money here in Butte, and also ensure that a lot of our small businesses are taken care of.
Tavern Association President Thomas Davis says closing early due to COVID restrictions is really hurting small businesses. Davis also co-owns the Drunken Miner Saloon Copper Spirits Casino. He says the meeting was productive to voice their concerns.
We wanted to paint a picture, more importantly, as the Tavern Association and also small business owners, the full picture, the full spectrum of everything that we're facing as small businesses, and also, trying to provide services to our patrons and guests. And a lot of our guests are going elsewhere.
However, Lori Baker Patrick, the Butte-Silver Bow County Treasurer, said that while she understands it's been tough for small businesses, if the county were to waive or lower their fees, they would have to do that with all other businesses, including major corporate businesses like Walmart.
How do you, define what's fair, really? I think if you do for one, you should do for all. Whether they're a big corporation, I'm sure they're, each individual business in some way they've had to sacrifice.
The county would be losing $150,000 that has already been calculated into an already tight budget. Baker did say they're waiting on the health department to decide if businesses could stay open longer.
And maybe we could look at some type of a refund if the health department doesn't raise their time of closure, something to help them out. But I feel that if we do that, we should do it for all the businesses that are current on their licenses.
In Butte, Caitlin Aguiles, MTN News.
Week, Johnson & Johnson is set to ask the FDA for emergency authorization for its new single-shot vaccine. The company says its vaccine is 85% effective in those with severe cases of COVID-19, 66% against moderate cases. While it is somewhat less effective than the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, experts say it will still be useful in the battle against the pandemic. It's also less expensive, and there's no cold storage requirement. Doctors are worried about a growing number of COVID-19 survivors that still don't have a sense of taste or smell. It is a common symptom that's stuck around for months, and researchers are still trying to figure out why it affects people differently. Meanwhile, scientists predict that at least 1 million new cases of people with chronically diminished senses will come in the coming year. 400 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were administered at the first public vaccine clinic for the Missoula County, and it was held at the University of Montana's Adams Center. All appointment slots were filled up within an hour. The clinic was only open to residents in that first tier of Phase 1B. That includes those 70 and older and American Indians. For the foreseeable future, Missoula County will receive 1,500 first doses of the vaccine each week, and then vaccine coordinators hope to see weekly shipments as the vaccines grow.
We know that it has to ramp up and scale up from 400 to as many as we can safely do in a day. So this is sort of a proof of concept. If this works, then we can build off of this. But it is satisfying to see people come in and get vaccinated.
So all that information regarding Missoula County's vaccine distribution can be found at covid19.missoula.co. All right, today kicking off Black History Month, and if you want to celebrate, there are some virtual events that you can take part in. On Saturday, the Smithsonian will host an online panel to kick off the opening of an exhibition dedicated to Black men through history. The Association for the Study of African American Life and History will also host virtual events for the whole month as a part of its 95th annual festival. We do have more ahead on the new news, including how one Missoula business is coping with a downward shift in the economy during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're checking in. But first, Miller Robson is back with that statewide weather forecast.